practice Badanguliasana, so stand in Tadasana, feet together, legs engaged. Interlace your fingers and press your palms forward. Lengthen the spine from bottom to top. Stand right over your arches. And then let your arms press back as you think of the upper spine deepening into the body. Press the palms to the ceiling. Make more space between your hands and your feet. Let your inner thighs reach back, especially those upper inner thighs. And press the shoulder blades into the rib cage to take your arms further back. Lift the low belly to lift the whole circumference of the rib cage. Lengthen the waist and lengthen the armpits. And again, deepen the thoracic spine towards the chest. Thighs back, waist back, arms back. Elongating. And then exhale and lower your arms down and switch the interlace of the fingers and press your palms forward again, drawing up through the musculature of the legs. And press your arms back and up. Press the feet into the ground, press the palms to the ceiling, and make more space between the hands and the feet. Press your shoulder blades into the rib cage to deepen the upper spinal vertebrae towards the chest. Lift the low belly. Pubic bone and tailbone search for each other. Thigh bones back. Inner heels grounding. Big toe mounds grounding. Go up through the armpits. Extend the elbows. Lift from underneath the heart. And then exhale and lower the arms down. And now grab 2 blocks for Ardha Uttanasana and set your blocks down in front of your feet, which are shoulder distance apart. So parallel feet, lift the toes, lift the arches of the feet, hands on hips, shoulders back, lift the side ribs. Let your shoulder blades slide down as you look up and lift the collarbones, and then exhale and hinge at the hips to fold forward. Stay long in the fronts of the legs and lift the backs of the legs to lift the buttocks, hands onto the blocks, extended elbows. And look forward as you pull your bottom front ribs forward to elongate the belly, to be very long in the front of the trunk. Pull the outer hips back, pull the inner thighs back, and pull the rib cage forward. And see if you can let the upper spine sink down towards the chest and stretch your chest more forwards. Pull the upper thighs back as much as you're pulling those bottom ribs forward. Make more space between the arms and the legs, which are both extending. Deepen the thoracic vertebrae towards the chest. And then keep all of that magnificent length in the front of your trunk as you fold down into Uttanasana, taking your hands near your toes, fingertips on the floor, strong and long in the legs, and then hands to hips and stretch your chest forward, shoulders back as you come all the way up. And now come onto your belly for some cobra undulations. So make your way onto your belly and lengthen your right and left legs back one at a time so that you become very long on the floor here. And then have your hands alongside your rib cage, flat on the sticky mat, and lift the shoulders and outer arms up towards the ceiling. Let the elbows pull back and a little wide. Anchor your tailbone down, spread the toes open, internally rotating in the thighs. And think of the rib cage pulling forwards and up, and start to lift the collarbones and lift the chin. Breathing here in the cobra. And then exhale and lower yourself down and let your head release down. And now inhale, roll yourself up into a higher cobra and let your head come up last. And then exhale, roll your spine back down, letting your head come down last. Inhale, using the arms, rolling your spine up, anchoring the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the chin as you finish the inhalation, and then exhale as you undulate back down at the end of the exhale, chin to chest. And continue this way creating length in your body as you undulate. Shoulders back, elbows pull back. And now we'll practice a higher cobra. So walk your hands forward a little bit on your sticky mat. Anchor your tail and start to lift the front ribs up, pulling the rib cage forwards as you lift the front of the spine up towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders go back. Press into your spread out hands. Come up a little higher and lift your chin. And then exhale and come all the way down. Now we'll practice Setu Bandhasana. So lay down on your back, knees bent, knees parallel and feet flat. Neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Relaxing any unnecessary contractions in your belly and your trunk. And walk your feet a little closer to your sitting bones and quite wide. And then ground down through the arms and start to lift the buttocks up. Interlace your fingers and walk your shoulders underneath you even more. And then press the interlaced fingers down into the sticky mat. Press the wrists down, forearms down. Let the outer arms ground down. Lift the heels to lift the buttocks more. Lift the tailbone. Pull the shoulder blades into the rib cage so that the chest moves towards the chin gently. And then ground the heels again and lift the buttocks more. Lift the outer hips and gather your outer knees in. Gather your outer thighs in. Ground the forearms and lift the outer buttocks. Lift the tail. Press into the heels and lift the right and left sides of the tailbone again. And then exhale and roll yourself back down. Now we'll do a wonderful twist that I call the grab big toes twist. So be on your back with your arms extended out to the sides, and then bend your knees and let your knees fall over to the right. Grab onto your big toes and extend your legs so that you're at a very acute angle here. So you're grabbing onto those big toes. Legs are extending as much as possible. And this is a very deep twist. Now let your belly turn to the left and extend your left arm to the left. See how much you can open your rib cage to face towards the ceiling. So the front ribs face towards the ceiling. And enjoy the depth and the churning of this twist here. So be long through the wingspan, be extended in the legs, but allow a deep relaxation to come over you in this pose. There is some passivity, some receptivity that's important in this pose. And then release and come to center and get ready for the other side, letting the knees fall over to the left. Grab your big toes. Be in a very acute angle twist here and extend your right arm to the right. Slide the belly to the right. Open the right ribs to the right. Be wide through the collarbones and the arms, extended through the inner legs. And deeply relax and release here. And slowly start to come out of the pose now. Knees bent and feet flat on the floor. And take a breath here in a neutral position. Now we'll practice Supta Virasana. So get your bolster ready. Spread out your blanket as you see here. Come onto your shins. Bring the top of your head to the floor and pull your calves out to the sides so you can rest your thighs down and your hips down between your feet. Make sure your feet are pointing straight back. And then pull your torso back so that the bolster is supporting you under your rib cage. And then reach your arms up and overhead. Think of the roots of your thighs, the very tops of your thighs, sinking and releasing down. Soften in your groins. Let the pubic bone release down towards the floor. Think of a soft, long belly here, a long abdomen. Stretch your arms back. Keep the hands and fingers open. Let your head release back over the bolster. And enjoy the length in the front side of your trunk. Long abdomen here. Release the right and left sides of the pubic bone down, softening more and more in the groins. And use your hands for support as you come out of the pose. Lean onto your hands and stretch your right leg back to open the back of the right leg. And then stretch the left leg back to open the back of the left leg. Now get ready for Supta Baddha Konasana. So have your bolster on the sticky mat lengthwise and have an open blanket near your feet as you see here. And tuck your buttocks under so the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from your lower back, and then lengthen yourself back out onto the bolster. And let your feet come together and the knees open, and wrap the blanket over the feet. Find a way to bunch up the blanket so that you're supported. And then grab onto opposite elbows and have your arms all the way overhead. Relax and release the internal trunk here so that your breath can move freely through the trunk. Let the breath move up and down the spine. And as you relax in your trunk, see if more length comes naturally. Relax and release the abdomen, unsticking, ungripping any contraction. And then switch the cross of the arms and pull for a moment the elbows long behind you so that your arms are elongating out of the waist. And let your arms rest as you settle, as you elongate the exhalations here. Release and relax the hips and the groins. Enjoy the support of the bolster for your upper back. And enjoy the passive extension, allowing any tightness along the front of the spine to become open and free and long. And now open your arms out into a cactus position. So the elbows come towards the floor at around shoulder height. And the forearms are parallel. And your forearms may or may not come to the floor here. It depends on how open you are. It depends on the height of your bolster. But just explore this nice open position in the chest, elbows wide. Armpits releasing and relaxing. You can slide your shoulder blades down your back a little bit here. And if you need to change your arm position, that's also fine. Smooth inhalations, smooth exhalations. And feel the entire length of your trunk from the pelvic floor all the way to the thoracic outlet where the neck meets the trunk. Feel that length. Feel the dimension of your trunk, its depth, its length, its width. Relax internally here. And then roll over onto your side to come out of the pose.